shadesradio.com, hip-hop-lives.net. I'm your man Curtin ICE right here. Let's get into some commentary today. Alright? We're going to talk about a few things. Hopefully they'll be interesting to you. And it's going to be addressing a subject that we need to discuss today. Alright? This is what it is. I'm your man Kurt Nice. This is hip-hop-lives.net, shadesradio.com. Check us out anytime, 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can hit us on the live stream, video archive, video library. You can also see the digital magazine, which has many things of relevance, even though it was created some years ago. All right? And right now, we're going to talk about something that's a little bit more, how do you say it? A little bit more scholarly, scholastic. Something a little bit more scholastic. All right? And it touches on something that I've been involved with for over the past year and a half, past 2 years, just really delving into the concept full force. Okay? So really around like 2012, after fully studying and going to the epicenter of spiritual thought in hip-hop, after that whole journey, a new light shined at the end of the tunnel, which allowed me to explore the relevant state that we're in right now as a hip-hop society. Now, I'm just talking about people that consider themselves hip-hop. Okay? Now, you might be white, you might be black, might be so-called Hispanic, Spanish, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Dominican, you might be African. You know what I mean? You might be European. All right? You might be from an Asian country. All right? But you understand English. You can hear and understand what I'm saying. All right? Matter of fact, shout outs to the whole hip-hop Think Tank 3 that happened at the Schomburg Center in New York a couple of months ago. It's an education conference that happens, I believe, every year, where a whole bunch of educators get together from around the country and even around the world to talk about how they're implementing hip-hop in education, whether it be in elementary school, high school, middle school, or even college, or outside of school programs, after school programs, and things like that. Right? And my man Jaja Shakur hooked me up with the invites to get there and everything, because he was a part of the panel speaking, because he's been an administrator up at Essex County College here in Newark, New Jersey, out here in New Jersey. And about 2 years ago, we started getting deep into discussions about the state of hip-hop and where hip-hop was going, right? And where we are right now, realistically. Now, in discussing things, with the Teacher KRS-One, or just different people, Africa Bambaataa, the Cool Herc, to Easy AD from the Cold Crush Brothers, who's doing a lot of great work with health in hip-hop. Shout outs to Easy AD. All right. Talking to these brothers behind the scenes, where do you want the state of hip-hop to go? What is hip-hop in? But not just them, but the regular cats that are making moves, grinding, still doing the parties, or MC showcases or rap battles or whatever like that. The entertainment aspects of hip-hop. Over the past couple of years, we've had our feet in the information age. we're fully standing in the information age. Social media, internet, phones, NSA, whatever, we're in the Wikipedia, we're in the information age. All right. But are people's minds fully there? No, they're not. People's minds aren't fully in the information age. Even though we're absorbing it and we're in the midst of it, our minds are still in the past. Our minds are still in the golden age, the platinum age. All right. Our minds are still on money. All right. It's not fully onto what the information age is really about, which is knowledge. All right. The Aquarian age is actually about knowledge. Right. But people aren't fully in the Aquarian age yet. The transition has just happened. So people are still living in the Piscean age. All right. But in hip-hop, people are still living in the platinum age, which is the era that preceded the information age, in the sense of this is when hip-hop was fomenting or setting in stone its element of entrepreneurialism. That's the 9th element if you go by the Temple of Hip-Hop doctrine. Right, there's 9 elements to hip-hop if you go by the Temple of Hip-Hop doctrine. There's 5 if you listen to the general aspects put down by Afrika Bambaataa, okay, which is going to be MCing, DJing, breaking, and graffiti, plus knowledge. That's the 5 elements that everybody knows and everybody's familiar with. But the other elements that we talk about in the Temple of Hip Hop is you've got the MCing, DJing, breaking, graffiti, but then you also got beatboxing, which is sort of just outside those core 4 elements, right? But beatboxing is still there. But there's the overlaid elements of the street, cultural elements, which is fashion, language, knowledge, and entrepreneurialism. Okay. Now, beatboxing really is part of that core 4. Those are the first 5 elements that actually really made hip-hop join together underneath or in front of the background elements, which are fashion, language, knowledge, and entrepreneurialism. Yes, there was a little bit of entrepreneurialism present. Jaja points out, I often used to say that entrepreneurialism was the last element of hip-hop to be expressed because people weren't making money off of hip-hop. But then Jaja points out that, Cindy was charging like 25 cents or 50 cents to come to the party. But I don't know if that was, she was a freaking it was an open parking lot type. An open little area, right? Concrete, air fenced in area right there. And I don't know if you could really make people not come in. But then again, maybe you could. Maybe you charge them to get over where closer to the speakers and stuff. I don't know. So he was saying that they was charging like 25 cents or whatever. Entrepreneurialism, let's say, was present a little bit, but not much. All right. People really just started making money in the platinum age. That's when people really made money from hip-hop and the elements utilized around hip-hop. Okay? So with that, in talking about hip-hop and entrepreneurialism, we started talking about the future of hip-hop business and what is the state of hip-hop business. And that's all you would think that you're hearing about business, right? But you don't. You don't really hear about business at all in hip-hop. You hear about money and consumerism, right? But you don't hear nobody talking about business. Ain't nobody talking about sustaining, creating, and developing a business. Ain't nobody talking about that. All right? They're not talking about business law, business marketing, none of those practices that go along with establishing a business that can go on without you, right? Like a corporation or something, right? Nobody's talking about that. People say, oh, who's the best businessman in hip-hop? Well, people say Jay-Z, Puffy. But you know what? They almost never talk about business. They almost never talk about business. They talk about money a lot. They talk about consumerism. They're basically talking to you about business as much as the local drug dealer might talk to you about business. They're looking at you as a consumer, as a someone that they can sell their product to. So they're not telling you fully about their business and how to do it. And even if they tell you about some drug, I don't want to hear about that shit. That ain't real business. I mean, it's math. It's real math and real intellect in order to do a lot of it. But it's not for real business because it's not above board and legal like that. We have a whole underground economy. We know about that. But we're talking about taking hip hop to the next level. Hip hop always been in the underground economy. There's always been mixtapes being sold, hand to hand for cash, everything. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't really help the society to grow. That helps the culture to grow. And it did. It helped the culture to grow. Underground economy did help the culture to grow. But it didn't help the society to grow because there's no taxes being taken out. And taxes are necessary because that goes towards the things that a business uses, like police, roads, traffic lights, city inspectors. It goes to a lot of stuff, that infrastructure that you need to have viable business. And we've been blessed in actuality to come from the urban environment where we can develop something like hip hop, because hip hop technically probably wouldn't be able to be developed in a rural environment like that. It needs people in mass numbers to be able to be around each other, existing somehow. Right out in the rural areas, it's like farms and stuff like that. Ain't no big apartment buildings like that all the time. You need a city. That's when there's an apartment buildings, because then you have regular stores and stuff, laundromats and grocery stores and all types of banks or whatever that you need to develop a city. But if you're out in the rural area, that's not necessarily the environment where hip hop would grow and originate. Now it can live there now because it's already a thing, right? It's already a thing, right? But when we talk about hip hop business and we talk about hip hop economy, this is how we kind of break it down. Now, last year sometime, I wrote an introduction that was submitted as part of the information packet that got the hip hop business class accepted at Essex County College. Now, this program was unlike any other program that's been offered to college students on this level. It's a hip hop business curriculum. First hip hop business course in the world. Now, you might have a lot of people studying about the entertainment aspects or production or writing skills or communication, a lot of things like that deal with hip hop that are in, people study Tupac's career. People study the legacy of Lauryn Hill or something like that in college class, as a part of art program, art history maybe. But you don't have anyone studying hip hop as a business. And this idea is very justified. All right. Now, my own personal experiences as a hip hop entrepreneur having businesses, all right, not having any business courses until last year in actuality, because over the past year, I was able to actually even delve deeply into business strategies, marketing, internet, global marketing, management, really delve deep into business for the past year to even solidify some of the theories that I had before I even started taking these courses. And these are some of the theories that I had just from observing and being a participant observer of hip hop for over 20 years. All right. And that led to something that was sort of finalized and submitted in May of last year, right, which was this concept outline for the hip hop business curriculum. Now, it says that the curriculum will study the impact of hip hop on historical, current, and future economic market trends. The course will start by defining what the elements of hip hop are and illustrate their impact on historical trends over the last 40 years. This influence will be seen in areas such as record sales, obviously. Hip hop was nothing. Then it became a genre and sold millions of records. Right? So out of thin air, a new genre was created, hip hop, and was able to utilize record sales as a means to transmit its message and gain popularity, gain strength, gain economic power. Just by record sales. Okay, and tied to that, of course, we got concerts, merchandise. Somewhat tied to that entertainment stream is fashion. How much hip hop fashion was, from FUBU to Carl Kanai to any of the hip hop, to